here we go. SRL has started the race, so that means all we're waiting on is Twitch delay at this point. And here we go. Let's see what we got here. It looks like Kaiten is using the Talon sprite from Dragon Warrior 4, and jkoper is using the Loto sprite from Dragon Warrior.
And it looks like we're starting off with double big bucks. I think we're going to see some save games here. Yeah, sure enough, jkoper has gone back to the king to save that gold. We'll probably, given the low strength, take a look to see if there's a town nearby where he can buy himself a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Kaiten is right behind him. Looks like he's going to save his game too. Try to save some of this gold. Probably cringing a little bit seeing those stats, jkoper. Alright, let's see. Well, nothing in immediate view, but that doesn't mean something might not be a little bit of a walk away. jkoper getting a nice walk to start things off here. Kaiten encountering a Erdrick, which he can't really do anything with. Oh, look, droll magi, thwomp, goodbye.
And that's why they save the game.
Yeah, rogue scorpion, well, thwomp, goodbye.
Looked like, given where Tanagel is situated, there's probably about 3 directions they can go. There really isn't anything to the south, but the north, east, and west all present some big plains where they might be able to find a town. We'll see.
Looks like west is going to come up with a zonk.
It's nice to find the dead end over there, though. It means it's one less place they'll need to go searching later on.
Indeed. And Kaiten looks like he's about ready to get our first kill of the seed. Thou hast done well in defeating the slime.
And then it's all undone. Probably see at least 2 or 3 more attempts for players to find a town before they possibly just give up and settle in.
Yeah, that seems about reasonable. You know, give it about maybe 5 minutes or so, and then, yep, certainly nothing south. So really the only place to go is to the north and to the east, it looks like.
But yeah, knowing that there's at least one blue slime out there has to give Kaiten some hope that if he does have to grind it out, it shouldn't be too bad. Only 5 experience is needed to get to level 2, and even with just a few more strength, like they'd probably be able to tackle. Well, depends on how the hit points do as well, whether they could take out a magician or something.
Yeah, there certainly seem to be a plethora of the quote-unquote higher-end monsters here with the scorpions and magicians and Erdrickies around. But, you know, so far, we've only seen the blue slime. We haven't seen a red, we haven't seen a Draki, we haven't seen a ghost. So it does look like the slime is only a 20% roll, it looks like.
Yeah, but at least they have hill tiles. It looks like Kaiten is just trying to kill some slimes now at this point.
And I
think he's resolved them.
And I think jkoper has the same idea.
I didn't notice if jkoper had actually seen the blue slime yet or not to know that there's at least one good enemy in the zone.
I don't think he's seen it, but I think he's trying to, you know, figure it out, because all he's seen right now are Erdrickies, magicians, and, you know, higher end enemies like that. Okay, now we do have a bridge down there that... Oh, look, we have a ghost. Okay, Kaiten has a ghost. Oh, but runs away from it. Probably is a 50-50 damage deal on that, on the ghost part, and probably can't out-hit it, out-slap fight it.
Yeah, the low hit point total and the agility of only 6 to start really makes the ghost a low probability chance. He's just got to try to find 4 more blue slimes, I think. jkoper's getting to be in the same way. It looks like he just got his first slime.
That manages to one-hit the slime.
Kaiten did another reset. I don't know if that was by accident, just out of... Sometimes you get into like a reset loop where just force of habit, you do it over and over again, or if it's because he found a new location to try to search for a town and he wants to give it one more attempt with the money.
That could be. But then again, I mean, a reset only puts you. He only put him back 1 experience point because he only had 1 slime. So he's managing to get a bit of a hero run through this desert. Let's see if there's anything out the other side.
That's the other thing. With just 6 agility, that's another thing that kind of tends me toward wanting to just settle in and take 5 minutes to kill 5 slimes. Because with 6 agility, like, oh, you're going to have a hard time running from anything.
Yeah, it looks like Koper is also had the same idea that Kaiten did, except, yeah, same result. Warlock sends you back to start.
Given that both players have seen the slime, do you think there's any chance that either of them would offer a reseed on this one?
I would think that given the fact that there is a slime available, I think they're going to see at least what level 2 gives them. And I could see maybe offering a reseed if level 2 gives them absolutely nothing. But for now, I'm going to say probably not, but you never know.
Yeah, I think that's kind of my guess as well. I was just kind of throwing it out there. Mostly because the previous match that I just commentated also had a reseed at the start, but they started in a swamp. It was a much worse position.
Yeah, started in a swamp with 4 strength and not much HP. I mean, that was really pretty much a non-starter.
Especially when the slimes had Dragon Lord 2 Wrath.
Yeah, that was a bit of an issue. But here, so far, everything seems very reasonable. They're just attacking for the most part.
I suppose I hadn't really thought about it. An excellent move on a ghost, which apparently has hurt, is a possible way that you could take out a ghost at this level, but I really think 5 blue slimes is going to be how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. An excellent move on a ghost might take care of it, or at least, at the very least, I think it would put you within 1 more hit of taking care of it. But I think this is going to be a 5 blue slime thing. Oh, there's an excellent move on Kaiten's part, so let's see, can he get the 1 more hit he needs?
The ghost had heal more.
Oh, no.
Oh. Well, now that we know the ghost is out, it makes it easier to focus on the slime.
Yeah, you can't really do anything with the ghost until, you can one-shot the ghost.
Going on the crazy assumption that at some point they will get to 5 experience, and hopefully we'll get some more attack power to move through the seed, what is their ultimate goal on this game?
Well, the ultimate goal is to collect the Silver Harp, the Stones of Sunlight, and and Erdrick's token. You have to turn the harp into the Staff of Rain at the Staff of Rain cave. You have to turn those items into the old man we lovingly call the Jerk to get the rainbow drop, build a bridge over to Charlock, and dive the 7 basement floors of Charlock to reach the Dragon Lord and slay the Dragon Lord. And obtain the Ball of Light.
Sounds like quite the task. But for the moment, the task ahead is just to kill these slimes. And I think on jkoper's side, he's managed to get a few. He's started building momentum. He's up to 4 experience. Can taste the possibility of getting a level up that's going to give him some attack power.
That just needs 1 more blue slime, and hopefully we get something. Oh, here we go. All right, let's see. What do we got in level 2? Thou hast done well in defeating the slime, and thy level has reached 2.
Sadly, just 2 attack power.
Response speed is nice, though. I mean, at least you can run from things a little bit more reasonably, and you might be able to 2-hit a ghost, because I would think that the ghost's heal mores aren't going to get triggered until they get 5 or 6 HP taken care of. So you might be able to kind of sneak up on it, and then if you can get a 2-hit at the end, maybe you can take care of it.
Yeah, that's right. Or if possibly they just choose not to heal more, and indeed jkoper is going after the ghost, but unfortunately, even with the extra agility, somehow the ghost managed to deal enough damage to kill him first. I guess he didn't have the extra hit points from the level up, possibly, right at the start there, and so he wasn't starting with 15 hit points. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but jkoper also has not seen that the ghost even has heal more. So if he does see that, then he's going to be quite disappointed, I would imagine.
I did have a seed that I played about a month ago in a casual game that I started off with 17 blue slimes to start the seed.
Well, here's something that could be interesting on Coper's side. He gets a magician. So that gets him within 1 blue slime of reaching level 2. Or level 3, I should say. Or no, wait, I'm sorry, 3. I can count.
But yeah, that magician is pretty huge.
Alright, now I think Coper's going to try to take on this ghost again. And if he can 2x2 it, he might have a chance here. Right, is another 2 going to do it? No, that's a 1.
He did it, and he's getting the next level up, and it's got 3 more power. And a spell. It's 2 spells, heal and hurt. He's out of jail. But I'm also happy to see that he managed to kill the ghost at level 2, because that gives Kaiten more of a chance to catch up, even if he happened to have some bad luck on this ghost that he just ran into.
Yeah. Kaiten just needs 1 more blue slime to get up to level 2, which then should make getting to level 3 a little bit easier. But now Coper is really going to, I would imagine, grind on some of these enemies around here, specifically pretty much anything around here. I mean, he can even kill a poltergeist in 2 hearts.
And there's a question in the chat, is there always a blue slime fight where you start? There's basically 3 different zones. The zone the castle starts in, there's only 6 different enemies that could appear there, and 5 are selected randomly, possibly including duplicates. And then to the north-south and to the east-west, there's a couple other zones that just have kind of like the 10 easiest enemies in them. And so it's usually the case that there will be a slime in one of those zones. And we didn't see any red slimes, but a red slime is something else that they also could have taken out with their 7 strength here at the start. So I would say probably 95% of the time you're going to be able to find a slime.
Yeah, indeed. And Kaiten does get to level 2, and jkoper got to level 4, which had another very nice agility boost, and now jkoper's strength is 16. So, we're starting to creep up here on some decent levels, but only HP of 20, that kind of stinks.
But yeah, you have to imagine the time that it takes Kaiten to get to level 3 could be one of the longest levels of his race until, level 10 or something after this. Because, yeah, gaining that hurt spell just puts so many more monsters into the killable range. I'm glad that they got the hurt spell, because otherwise it would have been a real struggle for quite a while.
Ooh, and Kaiten takes care of a ghost with an excellent move, so he gets that 4 experience right away. That's nice to boost his chances to getting level 3 a little bit more quickly. So this does have the makings of a slow starting seed, but they're starting to gain a little bit of momentum here, which is a very good thing. Kaiten doing a little bit more exploring. It's gotten further than I think we've seen either of our runners get, but still nothing of note that they have seen.
I do almost wonder with Kaiten having a little bit more agility now and doing a little bit more exploring. He's found a Drakey, but the Drakey has hurt. I was going to say, if you do some more exploring when you have the extra agility, like if you did happen to see a town, I would definitely want to get to the town and walk in it. But like if it was a town that had a hand axe, would you consider resetting and trying to walk back to the town once you know where it is? It's a tough call.
It is a tough call. I think it depends on how far away the town is and if you can reasonably get there with a hero run. Also do note that Druins have hurt more. So Druins right now, not a thing you can do.
But yeah, just the fact that Kaiten is kind of continuing to push out into a different zone makes me wonder if he's thinking about that strategy, just because He doesn't want to have to deal with the frustration of getting through this level, and also dealing with the fear that maybe your opponent found something that you didn't, that was just, you know, 1 or 2 more squares off screen. It's really tough in these starts to know how you're faring relative to your opponent and whether they've gotten luckier than you have.
Yeah, agreed. And speaking of getting lucky, jkoper does not. 2 hearts cannot take care of that Warlock, and the Warlock sends jkoper back to the throne room. I'd say back to start, but he's already kind of around start.
Yeah, the King's Men don't have to go very far in order to fetch your body.
jkoper should be able to take care of this Poltergeist, which... that should get him to level 6, I do believe, if I'm remembering my math correctly.
I think, is it 165?
Oh, my math was wrong. It is 165. My math was wrong. Up to NG, how you doing? How's this one going? Slow. This is a slow start.
They started with double gold in the treasury, and obviously tried to save it, did a bunch of resets. There doesn't seem to be a town nearby. They only had 6 agility at the start, and after a bunch of resets, they settled into killing a bunch of blue slimes to get to level 2.
Ooh, nice power on jkoper's side here at level 6. All right, so that really gets them out of jail at this point. 39 agility, 34 HP, the heal spell, the hurt spell. I think it's time to get on the exploration train here a little bit and try to, branch out, see if you can't find something.
It's funny that we haven't seen a wolf. A wolf would be kind of the ideal enemy with heal and hurt, kind of the level that jkoper's at. If there was one in the zone, I would probably sit and try to kill a few of them if I could to get 1 more level before traveling very far. But given that we haven't seen that enemy, yeah, going ahead and trying to get a little further afield is not unreasonable.
Yeah, I
the
think
spells, by the way, are coming at level 3.
Yes. And I think what Kaiten needs to do here is what jkoper did. He needs to just sit down right around Tantagel and get to that level 3. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a pain, but knowing what we know, I mean, that's going to really break the seat open for Kaiten and allow some more exploration like what he's doing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what he feels like he could accomplish, even if he does find a town out there right now. Like, he doesn't have any money. There isn't much value, and now it does seem like he's maybe hunkering down at the castle, Kaiten finally, just to try to wail on maybe either getting a lucky ghost or magician, or getting a few more blue slimes.
Well, he seems to be reliably hitting the magicians for 1, but the problem is the magicians then can hit him back for 1 or for 2. So, I mean, can you go slap for slap with the magician? I don't know if you can kill one. Not at an HP of 15. We'll see, though. Yeah,
I kind of don't agree with it running away from the fight after he took a bunch of damage, though. You might as well continue. You might get the excellent move, and then the excellent move would help finish it off. It feels like he just hasn't decided on a strategy.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like he's kind of caught in between 2 minds. I mean, does he grind or does he try to find something? And the further, I mean, if you take a look, he's died in that same general area several times in like the last 5 or 10 minutes, generally to golems or to wizards or to other high level Charlock type enemies. That's certainly something he needs more levels to be able to do, is to get past that area.
In the meantime, over on jkoper's side, he's found a reasonably good spot. It's got scorpions, it might have had the Warlock in that zone, and it's desert tiles, and so he's just working his way towards level 7, and seems happy and content to be making some progress.
Yeah, agreed. This I think is the right course of action for jkoper to be taking here. He certainly knows that he needs levels in order to advance right now, because the stats are, I mean, they're good compared to where they started, but comparatively speaking, they're not great for any extended exploration, especially your HP level.
Yeah, if they had some equipment, this level 6 would not be bad, but when they're completely equipmentless, with no sign of a cave or a town, like, yeah, just sit back, earn another level, hope that maybe hurt more or a bunch of hit points or something is going to come and help you along. Or maybe to be disappointed when level 7 shows up and offers very little.
Some more agility, but again, no spells of note at level 7. I mean, heal and hurt are wonderful, but at some point they're going to want to get going a little bit here, and just having heal and hurt only gets you so far.
Indeed. Looks like we're in for a bit of a struggle. With 46 agility, however, other than Charlock tier monsters, you are at least a favorite to run. So if jkoper did want to try to explore farther afield, he could probably run from enemies that he needs to avoid. With the heal spell, he could heal up if he does take a hit or two along the way, and so he could probably travel a few more screens further than he's gone before, if he really wants to.
Kaiten gets a little further than he has before, but yet again, his good friend the Golem says, nope, you're going back to start. Alright, so now Kaiten seems to be settling in against this ghost, who we know has hurt, and Kaiten sees it now too. And he runs away with 1 HP again, not willing to take the death.
Well, meanwhile, the encounters aren't doing any favors to jkoper. He runs up against a golem and can't get away.
Yep. And with a defense power of 23, yeah, that golem's going to smack him all the way back to the castle. Oh, look, Armored Knights seem to share a group with the golems. Isn't that fun?
And based on what we've seen of the map geography, is that up and right the only possible direction that the players
Certainly
can
looks
go?
like it.
Kind of like a...
Yeah, I'm certainly thinking that they're going to have to go up and to the right from the castle, and that's going to be an interesting little...
And it looks like jkoper has already kind of resolved himself to the fact that he needs to get level 8 and hope for more agility or a big spell. Because now he's right back to the zone that he was grinding before with hurt. It's probably going to take him another 5 minutes or something to get up to 600 experience in the next level. But I think it probably is the right choice given the enemies we've seen over there.
To answer the question in chat from Weasel79, are there no slimes around? There are. They seem to be a 20% chance of running into them right around Tanchill Castle. Yeah, they're around. If you want to, sit there and kill them, they're around.
And Kaiten killed, 5 of them, I think, to get level 2 right at the start.
Yeah,
and
indeed.
Then he's, I guess, just gotten frustrated and now is trying to do some other strategy that doesn't seem like it's going to work.
Yeah, I wonder right about now how much of Kaiten might be on tilt.
He could also be hoping to stumble into a metal slime. That's another way to get out of jail. And yeah, then finally also, if he does happen to see a town, he could always take a reset and hope that he can hero walk with some of the money, but yeah, I don't know. That's a real long shot either way. Meanwhile, slowly but surely, jkoper is up over 500 experience at this point. Another couple of minutes and he's going to get that next level up, I expect.
Yeah, and hopefully level 8 gives him something reasonable, especially HP. Because if he does have to get through that northeast little part there that Kaiten is navigating through right now, this zone is just not fun, as we've seen several times. But Kaiten seems to have broken through that zone.
He ran from 2 enemies that were a bit of a long shot. 3 enemies now, and he's seeing a bit more of the map than we have seen as yet.
Yeah, this is certainly the most of the map we've seen yet.
But
Question is,
every enemy was a Charlock tier enemy out there. He saw
Yeah.
a Star Wyvern, he saw a Green Dragon, he saw an Armored Knight. Yikes.
yeah, that is not going to be a fun zone to get through. I mean, even once jkoper gets his level 8 coming up shortly, that's not going to be a fun zone at all.
Let's all hope that something good is coming now on jkoper's side. 6 attack power, 8 hit points, new spell. Is he gonna... I see heal more. That
Helps, kind of.
Yeah, it really doesn't change anything though.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't really need heal more, right? Because you only have 48 HP at level 8, so 2 heals pretty much get you right back into the game. And I mean, the HP once he starts getting into that northeast zone, those enemies are going to hit him for 48 on a shot.
The repel is at least a little bit nice, because without any armor, the only thing they'll be repelling is based on their agility, and so we can probably still focus on guys like the Warlock, and I guess he might be repelling the Scorpion now, I'm not sure, in that zone that he was in before if he wants to keep grinding. I wonder if at this point he's going to go try to do a hero run like Kaiten has been doing, and how many times he'll try it before he just settles back into a grind, because I don't think he's going to make it through.
But if you look, Kaiten has made his way up to 15 experience. So now he only needs 2 blue slimes to get to the next level, which we know has heal and hurt, which will make things a whole heck of a lot easier.
And yeah, it's going to make things a whole lot easier, but it'll also be kind of like frustrating, because then Kaiten would be like, oh man, I should have gone for the slimes earlier, because this would have helped so much. And it's too bad we don't have death counter, because as tragic as it is to watch this unfold on the right hand side of the screen, I would be really interested to know how many deaths he's taken.
I mean, I would think it'd be near 20 at this point, if not more.
jkoper had a Droll Magi in the screen, and he thought long and hard about it. With heal more and hurt, some of those mid-tier enemies you have a shot at. There's a Spectre now. He might be able to kill that with the combination of heal and hurt more. Or heal more and hurt.
Problem was with the Droll Magi, though, the Droll Magi hit a stop spell on jkoper. So that kind of nixed that. Ooh, a Spectre with Fire Breath, though, certainly doable.
That's a nice 47 pickup. If he can get a couple more enemies like that, level 9 won't feel so far away.
I'm a little surprised jkoper used a heal more there when 2 heals probably would have done the job just as well. Because I know jkoper is big into numbers.
On the screen. And so I wonder if he's going to be able to make it there.
jkoper is going to try to hurt and heal more a Knight. I don't know if he can do that. I think Knights hit too hard.
And there's a town past the cave. It's the Jerk. Not useful now. Will be useful much, much later.
Alright, so now...
Oh, you have got to be kidding me.
Is it Hawksness?
It is Hawksness. The only town without an inn or a shop.
Wah, 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 wah. Wah. Well, that's quite unfortunate. Ooh.
So what time were those races tomorrow? We might run up into some of them.
The first one is at 12:15 tomorrow afternoon, Eastern time. So, we've got 12 hours before we have to worry about that. We might be done by then.
I kid.
We do have Kaiten getting to level 3 now in his heal and hurt spell. He kind of spent a little time watching it, so probably a little frustrated that they're there.
Alright, but there's a second town and cave on jkoper's screen. He's going to pop into the cave first, assuming he can get away from the Axe Knight, and he does. It's Staff of Rain Cave, also not useful for quite a while.
And we know this town will at least be useful because we've already seen hawks in this. I mean, even if it's brackenary, I mean, it still is an inn and you can buy herbs, but it's not. It is Key Town. It is Rimuldar. So this could really bolt the seed forward, especially if the Tantagel Treasury manages to have Erdrick's sword, or if Erdrick's sword happens to be here in Rimuldar.
And fortunately, as a result of killing the enemies that he's killed along the way to get here, he's got plenty of money, so he's going to be able to buy all the keys, hop out of Rimu, hop back in, and check the chest to see if there's anything great.
And still has enough cash left in reserve for a trip to the inn, as well as, some medium strength stuff, maybe like a chainmail and a copper sword, something along those lines.
And there is a copper sword, hand axe, chainmail, and a small shield. This is a really great town for the amount of money that he has right now. And I think cleverly he's going after the armor.
Absolutely. The chainmail and the small shield seem like absolute no-brainers here. Given that he has the hurt spell, the copper sword may be, probably a little less important to jkoper, especially considering how there's a hand axe right here. But certainly the chainmail and the small shield certainly makes a ton of sense.
Yep, and with the hurt spell, if there's some decent enemies right outside of town, he might be able to build up at least the 180 to go back for the copper sword in short order.
I mean, there seemed to be plenty of specters along jkoper's way as well. So, the specters give a good amount of gold and experience. So a couple of specters, and he might even be able to afford a hand axe sooner rather than later.
The trade-off, of course, is if something surprises him and takes him out, he could lose half the money he's accumulated and be sent back to Tantagel.
Coper's gonna maybe try a green dragon here. This is an interesting strat.
Now that he has the armor, he can survive a couple of blows, it looks like. And so he does have the opportunity to alternate between hurt and heal more. Basically fight him kind of like the Dragon Lord.
Lord of the Synth also bringing up a good point that if jkoper does happen to die, you can check the treasury. So not a terrible thing if he happens to... Well, not a terrible thing that he died.
And so what riches is the Tantagel Treasury going to show us today? I'm seeing on my screen wings, a cursed belt, an herb, and a torch. Not exactly what you wanted to find in this seed.
No, not at all. But now I would think that jkoper is going to now go check the basement of Tantagel Castle, and maybe he can, backdoor his way into a bit of a gold grind, maybe. But then again, there's no towns around for it to be useful in, so...
I think he's got Garen's tomb, and he is dark navigating his way over to the 3 chests that are on the top floor. A Drakey is a fantastic first enemy to see in the tomb, because that's something he can easily run from, and it looks like he is going to successfully make it over to these chests, I think.
Now the question is going to become, what is in the chests?
And I think he was in a chest glitch. I think he got fairy water, and a key or an herb or something.
Yeah, it's either a key or an herb. Yeah, it's fairy water times. Yeah, it's fairy water and either an herb or a key, I think.
So that's once again disappointing, and I think he's basically forced, since he still has 2 keys, to try to dive down deeper and see if there's a gold chest down there. But unfortunately, he has encountered an armored knight, and that is going to be the end of this particular dive into Garen's tomb. And speaking of the armored knight, Kaiten's found yet another over in the same spot.
Hey, and the good news, Kaiten has gotten to level 5.
Any progress is good progress, I suppose.
Indeed.
So if you're jkoper, what's your strategy right now? I put you on the hot seat.
Explore. I think you have to just explore. I don't think you've got much of a choice here because, I mean, the grind options here are just, they're either not that attractive because their enemies are too strong, or they're not that attractive because the enemies don't give good enough experience. Now, this Wraith that jkoper is taking out is nice. If you could find more of them, that'd be fantastic. But I think you just gotta keep exploring and hope you stumble into another town. And, stumble into level 9 that has a hurt more. Or you find the mountain cave that has Erdrick sword in it. DH Stom in chat attempting to call me out for forgetting the Tantagil treasury in my race earlier in the week. But all I'm going to say is this. There have been 3 runners in this tournament that have not gotten the treasures out of the treasury. All 3 have won their race. That's all I'm going to say.
Indeed.
And we have Koper trying to take on a Magiwyvern, which I think is out of its weight class. I
think he's going to be successful. Yep, and that gets him most of the way now to the next level up. If you can find one more good enemy that gives another 40 experience or so, he'll be there. The green dragon, however, I think is a little bit overclassed. I think when it killed him last time, it hit him for 33, even with the armor.
And we have to thank RPG Limit Break for the raid. I'm assuming that means that the race between Von Ivan and Silverfire is over, and we want to welcome you to this race that is featuring jkoper and kaiten619. I am Z-Man050778, and with me in the broadcast booth is Lorgon111. Just to give a little quick recap of the seed here, it's been a very, very, very slow start. They started with like 7 strength, but they did get heal and hurt at level 3. So that was a good thing. If you're seeing a bit of an experience difference here between jkoper and Kaiten, it's jkoper decided to settle down after level 3 and do a grind, whereas Kaiten has kept running up against Charlock level enemies about, 50 steps into the map. So that's kind of where we are. Nothing really important has been found. We have found Rimuldar. So Koper does have keys and has raided the treasury for nothing. So,
and Koper just picked up the silver heart from Free Stuff Cave. But yeah, the map was pretty linear at the start, only offering one way to go, and there was at least 30 steps full of Charlock tier enemies between that and the rest of the map before you could reach the first cave. And of course, the first cave was the Jerk, and the first town was Hawksnest, just to keep on trolling the participants a little bit further. And so it's just been a slog. But jkoper is just starting to get over the hump. I'm sure he's still going to take deaths like this one to the Armored Knight a few more times. But at this point with level 9, he finally has some stats that he can take out mid-tier enemies with a combination of hurt and heal more and really make some progress.
Kaiten, meanwhile, got to level 6, which is good because level 6 had that nice strength boost for our runners. Yes, I said nice strength boost, 228 after level 6. Yes, this seed is a little mean. And as you can see on Kaiten's side, once you get to about here, you start encountering Charlock level enemies. It's not fun.
We should mention that over in Rimuldar, there was a copper sword, a hand axe, and also jkoper picked up the chainmail and the small shield when he was there because he's just been using hurt as his only attack. But I'm sure he might consider trying to get back over there to try to purchase the hand axe. I think at this point he's probably strong enough that he makes it back over there. By the time he's there, he'll have that 560 money.
And there was that area to the north of Rimuldar that still seemed like it had some expanse to explore.
Yeah, well, I guess we didn't get a very good look at that because the green dragon took out jkoper the last time he was there. But this time he'll be coming back with more hit points and he'd be able to survive the green.
And underneath Tantagel Castle is the grave of Garen. The top 3 chests had absolutely nothing worth noting. And I believe an armored knight took care of jkoper on his way down to the next floor.
That's right. The Tantagel Treasury also came up pretty empty. We haven't seen a gold chest, have we?
No. Except for the first 2 of the game, no.
Right. The throne room started them off with 1,200 gold out of 2 different chests, which is one of the reasons it's such a slow start. Both players did a number of resets trying to get the gold to a town at the start before they finally settled in and killed 5 blue slimes.
And Lord of the Synth does bring up a interesting little point in chat that a seed like this absolutely screams out for hurt more, especially considering how many hurt moreable enemies there are on the overworld. So that just means that the randomizer is going to put hurt more at level 15 or 16 in the seed because.
Another thing, regardless of, well, Kaiten, I'm sure, definitely feels behind. But jkoper, I can imagine, also feeling behind because it's one of those seeds where it seems like you're being so unlucky, and it's very hard to tell whether it's possible that your opponent could have had much better luck and found something much better than you've found so far in the seed. But when you're 42 minutes in and, struggling to kill anything using a combination of hurt and heal more, you gotta wonder, maybe if I'd made a right turn rather than a left somewhere, something could have gone differently.
I mean, that's certainly something that I'm sure is going through jkoper's head. And it looks like now jkoper will be able to take care of this knight using heal more hurt strats.
And so for the people who arrived late, the town that's on the screen is Hawksnest, and the cave that's on the screen is the Jerk. And then further over to the left, we'll eventually get to Rimuldar against the coast, and that's Staff of Rain cave just below us on the bottom of the screen on jkoper's side. And so the good news is he's made it back to Rimu. The bad news is he only has copper sword money. I'm not sure with the copper sword. I'm not sure it would do enough damage to really be worth it. He might want to save up.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think the copper sword really stands much of a purpose at this point. It would probably do, for most monsters, it'd do roughly the same amount of damage as the hurt spell. So yeah, you'd be spending 180 to kind of sort of save on a little bit of MP, but it's not really going to do that much.
Right, and saving MP is the one stat that they're doing well on in this seed. jkoper at level 9 already has 70 magic points, so by the end of this, it sounds like magic is going to be the least of their problems.
And it looks like Kaiten has finally settled in to do a bit of a grind here. It looks like he's going to get to at least level 7 in this area.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was level 7 where jkoper finally broke out and started finding locations?
It was right around there. Because I do believe level 7, I believe, has quite a decent HP gain.
This is, I think, a smart play on jkoper's side. He's going to check the Hawksness Spike tile because there are a number of monsters that he could defeat with a little bit of luck here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Stop Spell. That would bring in a number of other possibilities.
It's never a bad idea. An Axe Knight he could probably take care of if the RNG is good. Green Dragon he might be able to take care of, but a Stone Man, not so much.
I can't remember if we've seen a Stone Man before to know if they might have like Stop Spell or Hurt. But yeah, if it's anything north of just a vanilla Stone Man, they have no chance right now. They need at least Sleep.
Yeah, so the Sleep spell and a better attack, because Hurt or Hurt More is not one of those things that reliably lands on a Stone Man. So you do need some attack power to be able to take care of the Stone Man reliably, and they just don't have it right now.
You're saying that 10 excellent moves in a row doesn't count as reliable?
It can be done.
I had to turn off my microphone for a minute there as I just cackled to myself. Oh dear. It's been a rough seed for these guys. I feel for them.
Yeah, I do too. This is certainly a very rough start. But Kaiten did get to level 7, so he did get that moderate HP growth.
And it's kind of ironic. The bad, stats and exploration on jkoper's side really kind of opens the door. If there was a different direction to explore and Kaiten manages to find it, he could make up ground if he lucks into finding like Erdrick's sword or something. It could really turn this one around after just the tragically awful start that he had on this race.
Yeah, indeed. But the question is, where is that direction? We've seen a bunch of the map, and I'm not sure. I mean, is that direction to that northeast with all the Charlock enemies? I think at this point it kind of has to be. Because I think we've seen everything else outside of, that really going northeast might be the thing. CD Improv, to answer your question, the re-roll what actually took place during the 8:30 p.m. seed, and it was god awful. Their starting strength was 4, their starting HP was 20, but I believe they had to do 10 steps to get out of a swamp.
And so, then the blue slimes had Dragon Lord 2 Breath. The red slimes had, I think, Baby Breath. And the Drakies had Sleep or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. That was from the earlier race, though. This is still one that did not get reseeded that we're watching right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe when the call for reseed for the 8:30 race was given, I think somebody had a 4-1 experience lead. And we were, 20-25 minutes into the seed, give or take?
It was only about 7 to 10 minutes in, I want to say. They were, I think the swamp start definitely really biases people. And then eventually, once you see that, both slimes have some one-shot KO on us, that really kind of lends itself to, maybe this would be a good one to suggest a reroll.
Oh, Wolf Lords. That's not something we have seen before, but Kaiten runs away. Wolf Lords are certainly something you'd want to kill, I would think.
I agree. That's definitely one that probably 3 Hurts would take out. Kaiten's made a number of questionable choices, but if he continues with his aggressive trying to push forward to the map strategy, it's honestly one of the only things that could turn it around for him, it looks like right now. So we'll see what happens.
As Frayless in chat does point out, we do have a Spark Over Bridge on jkoper's side. Right up to the north on the other side of the bridge is a 1-tile forest.
So yeah, now is a good time to mention that in this tournament we're using a new version of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer that has a number of changes and improvements, and one of those changes is the addition of rivers on the world map, which causes a lot more bridges to appear, and also makes it a bit more likely for there to be just a single continent rather than two continents.
Have we seen what's in that cave that's on screen yet?
We have, it was Free Stuff Cave, and I think it had like wings in it or something.
Oh, okay. Nope, Silver Harp says our wonderful tracker Centroid 41.
Yes, that's right. You know, this is one of those seeds. jkoper wouldn't do it probably, but when things are just going so poorly that you might just play the harp for fun just to see if like a metal slime appears or something.
I might try it. Why not?
Alright, but jkoper is now going to be just a few experience points away from level 10. Let's all cross our fingers in the chat and hope that something good is finally going to come.
Specifically, something named Hurtmore. I think it's hysterical that, the first enemy he sees while trying to grind quick was a slime. When, he really wanted slimes earlier in the seed.
1, 4, 26, 2, no spell. The hit points honestly will help, but still, this is going to be a slog.
Well, at least the HP and MP are good this seed. Now, taking a look at Coper's gold, this is certainly a time where I'm like, all right, is this the time now where I go make the run to Rimuldar and go get that hand axe? Because now you're at hand axe on top of the 41 strength. You're probably doing halfway decent damage, or at least the same as the hurt spell for against most of these enemies. Maybe you take a run there, or as our tracker Centroid 41 says in chat, maybe you take a run at the other two chests in the grave.
Yeah, I think the grave chest is a possibility, or just more exploration. The hand axe, like, it's quote-unquote something to do right now, but it's really not going to provide a whole lot of help, given that they have tons of magic. And so, yeah, I'm pretty tempted to say just keep exploring is what I would be likely to do.
Question is, where the heck do you go?
Well, not to this dead end that we've seen him walk over to a couple times already. I haven't figured out where is the bit of the map that we're missing, and I don't know that jkoper knows where it is either.
Now, I believe Kaiten is starting to approach, the Stones of Sunlight Cave, which has the harp, I believe.
Maybe we'll see him play it. I don't know, that was just the jerk over there. So then there's going to be Hawksness. I can't remember if he's reached Hawks already yet or not.
Oh, okay, so he's in that area. Okay, now, if he keeps going, he'll see Rimuldar.
And the enemies were like Drakima and Droll in this area, so barring disaster, I think he is going to get to Rimu. He has money for keys. He's going to be disappointed in the outcome. Oh, the Droll has Hurtmore, and he's just a few steps away. That's got to be so frustrating.
Well, at least he knows where advancement is for him. Okay, so I think now we're in the new area of the map here on jkoper's side. I think.
Yeah, he's gone through the two zones that had all Charlock tier enemies, and now he's reached the plains on the other side, so if he gets like 4 more steps to the right, I think we'll definitely be traversing new map. And ironically for Kaiten, now he has a goal, and we, watching, know that that goal is not going to really help him all that much. Meanwhile, if he had chosen to try to keep banging his head against the other direction, who knows what might happen. Maybe we'll find out in short order on jkoper's side.
Yeah, because I believe Kaiten got to this general area once before.
Yes, that sounds correct. I don't know if he made it across the bridge that jkoper just crossed.
Alright, here we go. Let's see if there's anything good over here. Oh, look, another bridge. Yeah, but this area is just crawling with Charlock enemies.
The good news is, with agility up to 55 at level 10, he's a favorite to run from most of them. Oh, Blue Dragon is going to be tough. He got away. Yeah, I guess only Armored Knight and Red Dragon would be big problems, and he might have just found Swamp North. I didn't get a good enough look yet.
I think it has to be Swamp North. You couldn't go north. I think it has to be Swamp North. And meanwhile, Kaiten has gotten into Rimuldar and will now buy as many keys as he can. I don't think he can afford all 6, so he'll get a few.
3 is kind of a tragic number, because if he does go back into Rimu to open the chest, he'll spend 2 of them, and then won't find any gold in the treasury back home. But he's not spending them yet. Instead, he's going out to fight some more bad guys, which is probably good.
Oh, look, Druid Lords have Dragon Lord 2 Breath, and they're in the Swamp Cave. Isn't that fun?
I think it's actually the opposite of that. Unless, of course, you enjoy Schadenfreude, or however you pronounce it, in which case this is the race for you. Just gonna get to enjoy watching the suffering of others.
Indeed. I hope those of you in chat have poured yourself a nice drink, be it alcoholic or non-alcoholic, and have, gotten a snack or something to casually eat while we are racing, because this one's going to be a bit. But we're very happy that you have decided to join us here for the last race of the evening, and an evening that has featured some fantastic races.
Yeah, that one that got re-rolled that I was commentating. I think the top 2 times, there's 2 racers. I think it was like 122 something and 124 something. It was a very close, exciting race with a number of lead changes, different strategies by the runners, and yeah, ended up being a great race to watch.
And I shouldn't get too spoilery with that seed in case anybody wants to go watch the VOD, but I will just simply say that one of the runners in that seed did not have Erdrick's sword when he beat the Dragon Lord.
Yep. It was very interesting. 2 very divergent strategies at the end. So I think part of what might have made the map difficult is there were 2 different forest peninsula looking things, but the northernmost one had a little 1-tile isthmus that then continued to the right. Maybe? I'm kind of surprised that jkoper is going back into Swamp Cave rather than continuing past it. Oh, now he walks back out and he is continuing past it. I think that's the better strategy, honestly.
Yeah, just to see what else might be around. There might be another town out here. Maybe you can find the town of Cantlin and get some coordinates. And maybe the coordinates will be easily countable and you can find the Erdrick's armor.
Wouldn't that be the ultimate irony if Erdrick's armor ends up being buried like 3 steps outside the castle?
At this point, I'm kind of expecting it. Oh, so that's what I stubbed my toe on.
jkoper has traveled pretty far, but he's slowly running out of magic points. I'd be getting a little bit worried, maybe.
Yeah, he definitely would like to see a town right now. I don't think he cares particularly which town it is, because he could just really use an inn right about now. I hope our poor tracker, Centroid 41, is still awake, because he really hasn't had much to do right now. And while I'm calling out our...
one thing on Kaiten's side.
And while I'm calling out our support staff, I gotta really thank Lord of the Synth for restreaming this this wonderful race tonight. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Alright, so Kaiten has now made his way into the swamp cave and is about to make his way through the swamp cave as long as he can get past this twin lord.
This could be huge. This could be huge.
Oh, it goes to the back of Garen Ham. This is big.
Oh, we just accidentally walked out. He does have keys, though. Oh my gosh. This is my heart. I can't take it. And we see Charlock over on jkoper's side in the meantime.
So Charlock looks to be kind of out in the middle of nowhere with not much else around it.
There's a Sparko bridge near it. Come on, you can't say that there's not much.
Okay, there's a Sparko bridge, but there's no town or anything.
Get your priorities in order, mister.
Yes, sir. And we have Kaiten donning the scale of the dragon.
So it has been updated on the tracker. Okay, we're finally going to find out what these 3 chests in the back of Garen Ham are. We have a key, so it's ghetto grindable if there should be gold in here, an herb, and gold. There is gold, and a replacement key. If Kaiten can manage to stay alive, and there's anything good in the shop, this could really turn the seat around for him. There's a hand axe, a large shield, and a flame sword.
All right, I don't think twice. I grind up for that large shield and I grind up for that hand axe. I don't even think twice about it.
Yep, I would take the hand axe immediately, which is what he did. I would get the large shield next, and then on the seed. How many times with a single gold chest you'd have to go through like 15 times in order to get the flame sword? Yeah, I would just do the large shield and the hand axe.
But he also did pick up a leather armor, which actually does still help his defense. Somewhat.
It's kind of too bad that Erdrick's sword wasn't there. Oh, jkoper has found some.
The question is, what town does he have? He has the town of Cole. What's in the search spot?
It's the best possible thing.
It is Erdrick's armor. That is a huge find for jkoper. That's absolutely huge.
And man, I gotta wonder if instead that had been the flute, and if instead in the back of Garen Ham had been Erdrick's sword, like how it could have completely turned this race on its head. Such is the nature of Randomizer.
And jkoper also does pick up a hand axe. And there's also a large shield available here in Cole, so I wonder if he maybe grinds in some enemies outside quick to get the large shield as well.
Why is the armor so great? Can you tell us about what it does?
Well, see, here's the thing. Erdrick's armor is probably the most broken armor on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Okay, why is it so broken? Well, I mean, it's the best armor in the game defensively. Okay, that's fine. That's good. And it nullifies the spell of Stop Spell. That's good. It reduces the amount of damage you take from Hurt and Hurt More, and from breath attacks, both Baby's Breath and the Dragon Lord 2 breath attack. But the real big kicker about Erdrick's armor that makes it so incredibly broken is that every step you take heals 1 HP. So you don't have to heal nearly as much, you don't take nearly as much damage, and you'll always be able to cast spells.
That's some pretty good armor.
All right, so it looked like Kaiten explored a little bit of the grave, but then bailed out of it. Oh, Mr. Spokes actually adds something to something I forgot. It also protects from the poison swamp and from the damaged tiles in Cantlin and Charlock.
Ah, that's
yes,
right.
I forgot to mention
it didn't have enough other properties until then.
Right. So, I mean, it is the ultimate armor on the NES. Period.
So, at this point, if you're jkoper, I guess you can go back through the swamp at this point. He did just learn a new spell with another level up. And so we're going to have to see what that spell is going to be once he cares to show us.
According to the tracker, it is the spell of Stop Spell.
Not all that exciting. But here he is, lighting up Tablet Cave with a torch.
And the good thing is he also has the spell of Outside, so this is only a 20-30 second dive to the bottom to find the item. A note that we are still missing the Stones of Sunlight and Erdrick's token.
Guess what? We're no longer missing the Stones of Sunlight. It was there in the bottom of Tablet Cave.
So now this gets interesting. Because chances are better than not that the Erdrick's token is either in Hawksness or it's on the overworld map. There's a very good chance it is not in the mountain cave. If you encounter the mountain cave, do you not explore it and risk that Erdrick's sword is in Charlock? Or do you hope the enemy set in the mountain cave isn't too bad and you just go for it?
Well, we know a bit about the enemy set on the top floor of the mountain cave because the mountain cave and the swamp cave have the same set of enemies. So, for example, I think was it a Droll Magi with Hurtmore or something that he died to once earlier?
And Druin Lord with Fire Breath, I think, is down there too.
That's what I was trying to remember, actually. So, there's at least one bad enemy in there. Although, now that he has the armor, he could survive that. So yeah, for jkoper, Mountain Cave, at this point, given the armor, his survivability went up so high. He's got hit points, he's got heal more, and he's got the armor. Other than being put to sleep, I expect he can survive most anything. And so, yeah, I would definitely clear out the mountain cave.
Tilo, to answer your question, do we know if Stone Man has skills? We're not 100% sure yet. We haven't seen that many Stone Men in the overworld, and Koper ran from the Stone Man after the first attack in Hawksness. We know Stone Men punch. That's all we know they do, but we haven't seen enough of a Stone Man to see if they do more.
Trying to think about the big picture. If you're jkoper, do you go back to Swamp Cave and see who the Guardian is in case it's some enemy we haven't seen? Like, have we seen an Axe Knight? I don't remember. That might be grindable.
I'm wondering if it's time maybe to go into the bottom of the grave too, because we haven't seen the bottom 2 chests of the grave. Because, well, the grave was right there in Tentacle
It has
Castle.
the advantage of convenience. It has the disadvantage that we know there's armored knights on the top floor of the grave. And there's only 2 chests in there, whereas there's still like another dozen outstanding elsewhere in the world. It's not an awful idea, but I would not be in a hurry to check the grave personally.
And it looks like Kaiten reaches level 9.
And I haven't been paying enough attention to Kaiten's screen recently, but I would not be surprised if he's already taken 40 deaths on this seed. I think it's quite possible he's taken at least that many.
At least that many, because again, trying to get back to the Swamp Cave, he's encountered a number of armored knights and various tough to run from enemies that just keep sending him back to start. I mean, he got a little bit of headway there for a little bit when we first found Rimuldar, but any of that forward momentum has just been absolutely stopped by the Charlock enemy central off to the northeast here.
And yeah, while it has been a tough seed, it's mostly been the player's own stats and lack of good spells as opposed to the enemies themselves having lots of capabilities. There have been a few enemies like that Druid Lord with Dragon Lord 2 Breath that killed jkoper in the Swamp Cave, but yeah, this doesn't kind of rival the most difficult seeds in terms of the enemy challenge. It's mostly the player's own poor stat growth.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, not too many of these. Ooh, here's a town.
It's Garenham, which means we have a single continent because I believe jkoper walked here and didn't go through the Swamp Cave to get here.
Indeed. So Bobski asks, how's the seed progressing? Just tuning in. I think
you didn't miss much.
You really haven't. Yes, we're an hour and 12 minutes in, and yes, jkoper's at level 11 and Kaiten's at level 9, but you really haven't missed much. To say that this seed is unremarkable is probably a good way to describe it, because there's nothing particularly devastating about this seed, except for one particular way, and that the main way of progression leads you through a zone that has a lot of Charlock enemies. But basically what the story of this seed is just a complete lack of strength and a lack of hurt more. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. Lack of strength, lack of hurt more.
And yeah, we would not be joking to say the over-under on the number of deaths Kaiten has taken is probably 50 at this point. He's really been just trying to press to try to explore, whereas jkoper was a whole lot more patient, especially in kind of the early and a bit of the mid-game. Now he's really getting out and exploring finally.
Ooh, and there's a town right to the north of Garenham that I don't think we've seen yet. So this is either going to be Cantlin or this is going to be Breckenary, I think. I think those are the two towns we haven't yet seen.
And we have a sighting of Cantlin. Since jkoper already has the armor that he found in Cole earlier, he'll be able to go talk to that old man on the spike tiles without taking any damage. He's cleverly remembering that he needs to fill back up on keys because he's gotten low. Probably take a peek into the shops, and then go visit an old man and find out if there's any good news about where Token might be.
Yeah, and just to kind of, forward the story here on Kaiten a little bit, Kaiten is... He could have been a little more patient at the beginning of the seed, granted, but in the exact same breath, he just isn't getting any sort of RNG luck in any way, shape, or form.
He's definitely been unlucky. I will definitely grant you that. For the number of times that he's walked over there, like at least a few of them, he should have either, had a successful run or killed an enemy that he was trying to kill that just hasn't worked out. And unfortunately, I know what it's like when you fall behind like that and you just know that you're behind. And so it forces you to play more aggressively to have any chance of catching up. And it just becomes a vicious cycle.
Yep, exactly. And yeah, good luck with these coordinates. 38 or 30, 38 north, 80 east. Yeah, good luck with these. It might be countable, maybe.
The one advantage that it has is basically the way that you walk to get over there is basically north and east, and so you wouldn't have to do a lot of backtracking to get over in that range, but it's still a stretch. And especially if you're jkoper, I don't think he checked the swamp guardian tile yet. And especially since he's coming up on level 12, at this point it's going to have like a 1 in 5 chance of coming up with Hurtmore. If Hurtmore comes up, you obviously want to go find some guys to start grinding on. And even with Hurtmore, he could take out the Stone Man and Hawk's Nest if he wants to see if the token is there too.
So I'm thinking that the armor, or whatever the search spot is going to be right around Cantlin, the Cantlin Garenham area. It's going to be right in this general area that Coper is right now, I think.
Because it is near the right-hand side of the map, and it's probably about the right height. That does sound pretty plausible now that you say that. And I guess the Swamp Cave is kind of a shortcut over there, because Swamp Cave was only maybe halfway across the map, and then you get back into Garenham, although then you have to walk from north to south, so maybe it's not that great of a shortcut.
Alright, and Kaiten finally gets past some of his mortal enemies, the Armored Knights, to get back into this general vicinity.
I really do still want to live in the alternative universe where Cole had the flute and the back of Garenham had the sword, and see how this race turns out differently.
So I believe Kaiten has made his way back into the Swamp Cave, I do believe.
Oh, the Druid Lord
no.
has heal more too. At least he managed to run away.
I don't know if Kaiten has seen the Dragon Lord 2 breath out of the Druid Lord yet. Oh, yeah. That could be bad.
So jkoper just got level 12, and I was looking at the Druid Lord on Kaiten's side when it happened.
Yeah, so was I. No Hurtmore. Oh, the spell of sleep. Okay, so now you have sleep. Now do you head over to Hawksness and try to take care of that Stone Man?
It's possibly on the agenda, but with the hand axe, hitting for like 15s on him maybe, that's still quite a slog. It's not a top priority. He's already got the armor. He can pick up the token sometime. I don't think I put Oxness at the top of my priority list. And now, interestingly, did Kaiten just turn down the large shield again?
It looks like it.
Also, did he just go talk to the radish salesman? If he did, there's got to be an achievement.
Selling off a set of wings.
Oh, I misread it. I thought that Kaiten had 800 right now.
Oh,
I don't understand. If Kaiten has a key, why doesn't he ghetto grind Garen for the large shield money? Yeah, I guess that sums it up.
Yeah, I'm wondering if just the number of armored knights and various other
It's a
enemies.
brain melting seed.
Yeah, I'm wondering if his brain is just kind of like on tilt right now, just because of how behind he has to feel, and just what this seed has done to him. It looks like jkoper is going to take the course that is slowly going to whittle down an armored knight here. But I do want to draw your attention to the Kaiten and Koper's strength values. Their strength is just absolutely pitiful for this point in the seed. They've got no strength and they have no hurt more. This is a tough seed to do damage on.
Can you imagine? What if the grind tile in the swamp is not a hurt moreable enemy? How are they ever going to get the strength they need? We just gotta hope something turns around.
You pray the sword is either in Mountain Cave or in the bottom of the grave? I mean, really? That's the only thing that really could do something like that. I mean, let's say you have a red dragon guarding the princess. You gotta go the bottom of the grave and you gotta try to find Mountain Cave, see if you can't get that sword.
Or, alternatively, you could spend... I timed it out once. If you're ghetto grinding in Garenham, I think it's like a 40-second cycle or something, and it would be like 10 minutes to get the flame sword. Ugh. That would... yeah, it's too desperate.
You can only do that if you think you definitely have the lead. And you think you have enough time to quote-unquote waste doing that. Now, is jkoper back in the swamp cave here? Yep, that's the swamp cave. I'm a little surprised you didn't check the swamp cave boss. That excellent move on that Wraith did 55 damage. 55! And here's a nice little area of armored knights for jkoper here.
And here's a view of the Tanagel throne room for jkoper here. Okay, here's what we need. We need everybody in chat to hope at the same time that level 13 is going to give hurt more. Because if it doesn't, none of us are going to get any sleep.
I've got tomorrow off. Doesn't matter to me. Actually, I have the next 2.5 weeks off, but that's beside the point. So Kaiten has made his way back into the swamp cave.
He's running from the Magiwyvern. That's an enemy he could use 3 or 4 hurts on, get 83 experience. But he's got other plans.
And jkoper has taken out another armored knight, getting him to within roughly 200 experience of level 13.
And it looks like he's headed over to Hawksness again. I think he's thinking, you know, I can get the level, and if Hurtmore shows up, I'll be right here in Hawksness. I can go Hurtmore the Stone Man 4 times if that's what it takes. And probably take that enemy out.
jkoper slowly yet steadily whittling away this armored knight. To just piggyback on Ruler 2112's comment in the chat that he or she feels bad for Kaiten just getting terrible luck. I mean, this truly is one of those times where you can say if it weren't for bad luck, Kaiten would have no luck whatsoever in this seat. I mean, he really has been just getting brutalized by RNG in this seat. It's just been awful. All right, so jkoper is now within a couple of enemies of level 13.
And so, of course, walking on desert tiles for 40 seconds, he's not had a single encounter. Here we go. This is a knight. This'll do it. We're gonna get a chance to look at level 13. Chat, now is your time to hope for Hurtmore.
Let's see some bless RNGs in chat. Come on, we can do this.
Oh my goodness. 25 power and 26 hit points. It's not Hurtmore, but 25 power is kind of a game changer right now.
Oh, that is something they absolutely needed.
I think he could go take out the Stone Man with Sleep and Heal more now if he wants to.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think you really even need to sleep. You could just take it out just by bashing it and, heal more. Needless to say, the Death Necklace will probably be a requirement in this seed.
Also, needless to say, the way the seed is gone, you know the Stone Man's gonna have heal more, right?
Oh yeah, that kind of goes without saying. All right, here we go. Can jkoper take out this Stone Man? Now, question is, what's going to be back here? Watch this be the fairy flute back here, because
while an excellent move could certainly help shorten the fight. And it does. Underneath the Stone Man in Hawk's Nest is, ding ding ding, the Fairy Flute. You called it.
Wah, 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 wah. Wah.
That's not the sound the flute makes, silly.
So, the overworld spot, search spot will have Erdrick's token. And take a look at those coordinates. I mean, you just know it's going to be a red dragon guarding the princess, right? A red dragon with sleep and DL2 breath, right? I mean, it's got to be, right?
I guess it's interesting to note, neither runner still has done the bottom of the grave. If the sword does wind up being down there, it's another one of those what-if scenarios that's like, could have changed the whole game completely. Who knows? But again, given the seed, Erdrick's sword will probably be at the judge's table.
I'm either expecting it in the vanilla location or in the bottom of the grave. To answer the question in chat from Crater14, what does the Death Necklace do? In the vanilla game, the Death Necklace does absolutely nothing. In the randomizer, what we have done with the Death Necklace is the Death Necklace will add 10 attack power at the cost of 25% of your health.
But in this particular seed, given that they already have 137 hit points, and are going to need a whole lot of levels still before they'll be ready to fight the Dragon Lord, giving up 25% of your health to be stronger is definitely a worthy trade-off.
You know, something I just kind of realized, we haven't seen everybody's favorite town yet. We have not yet seen Breckenridge. Nor have we seen the mountain cave.
It's kind of amazing, right? We're an hour and a half into a seed, and we're still missing multiple locations.
jkoper rather easily gets through the blue dragon. Sports Hefe, yes, the Death Necklace does curse you in vanilla, but it does absolutely nothing otherwise.
So I guess he wants to fight the blue dragon again for the experience, since he's not just casting outside right now. I wonder with the Princess in Arms if he'll fight it multiple times, or if he's just going to go ahead and head back.
I mean, this isn't a terrible enemy to grind on.
Agreed, it might be basically what they have to grind on if, there aren't... Well, if Hurtmore doesn't come. If Hurtmore comes, there's definitely plenty of Armored Knights out in the field that they could be killing.
God knows the Armored Knights are everywhere. And Kaiten gets to level 10. Gets that mammoth HP growth. He'll be happy to see that HP growth, considering how often he's running into these Armored Knights.
I don't know if jkoper has wings in his inventory right now. If he doesn't, I think he can't afford to get all the way to the level up and still expect to be able to walk back to the castle with the princess. If he does, then he should be able to kill. I think he just needs 2 more dragons at this point in order to get level 14, which now should have a 1 in 3 chance of having Hurtmore, since 14, 15, or 16, one of those levels has to have it.
You could also, alternatively, he could also walk to Garenham and go to the inn and just resume the grind.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
It's a bit of a walk, though, and there are dangers along the path.
17 more power, but no spell.
Well then, all of a sudden, looks really good.
Yeah, we were worried about the strength. Strength is now doing fine. Hit points, more than fine. Magic points and agility are doing fine. The stats, finally, by level 14, have caught back up to slightly above average.
Of course, now there is a bit of a minor issue. We kind of need a more powerful weapon to go bash the Dragon Lord.
You mean you don't usually kill the Dragon Lord with a hand axe?
Not usually. I mean, usually it's with Erdrick sword. Occasionally you see a flame sword occasionally.
We saw a broadsword and oops, we weren't giving away spoilers. I don't know what we saw at a previous race today. These aren't the droids you're looking for.
All right,
Kaiten
so Koper
doing the walkthrough in Cantlin of the little lake bit in the middle that you usually don't even see but for a moment on screen.
So what is Koper doing here? Oh, he's going to buy some wings? Oh, that's right, because he doesn't have the return spell. That's right. Now what is Koper looking for? Is he looking for a broadsword, maybe, to just make the grind a little quicker?
And he has it. That's a good improvement. That will make grinding blue dragons to get 15 and 16 not, actually probably pleasant. I forgot, with the strength of 91 and the broadsword. Yeah, that's going to bring his attack power up to 111. I am Lorgon 111, I like that a lot. Yeah. Blue dragons, that'll turn into a very acceptable grind, even if it's coming half an hour later than you'd like it to. But first, he has some homework to do. There's a token buried somewhere on the map, and he intends to find it.
So is Kaiten trying to count these coordinates?
Looks like it, and like I said, it seems like it's probably countable if you can live through the enemies to get over there and just have the patience to kind of take notes as you go. I could be wrong, but I think it's relatively straight.
I would agree with that. I think it could be countable, but just the number of ridiculous enemies between now and then. I mean, it just...
Kaiten hasn't found coal. It could be the armor. This is, I feel like, a pretty good desperation play.
Oh, I don't disagree. And Koper just wailing away on a golem. Yes, their strength is actually high enough where they can actually attack a golem.
Kaiten still can't catch a break.
Nope, not at all.
We kind of have a tale of two equipments here on screen. We've got jkoper intentionally fighting the golem in order to gain some more experience, and we've got Kaiten forced to see if he can get away from an armored knight, and with leather armor and a hand axe and no shield, he just can't.
No, Coper is just attacking the armored knight with reckless abandon.
It's amazing what 55 extra attack power will do for you.
Alright, so where is Coper now? Oh, right there. He's not far at all from it.
Alright, well now that he has Erdrick's token, he'll be able to play a video game in Erdrick's arcade, so that's pretty terrific. That's what it's for, right?
Indeed. Yeah, you can just go, go play some skee ball.
I remember that the Jerk was the first location we found from Tanagel. If you kind of circled around to the north after doing a little jog to the east, right south of Hawksness was the Jerk Cave, and that's where he'll need to return now that he has the Staff of Rain, Stones of Sunlight, and Erdrick's token.
I would imagine at some point then he'll go back to the some place to grind, I would think, on the Blue Dragons, but we'll see.
As Lord of the Synth, our tracker has pointed out, we still haven't seen Mountain Cave, though. 5 chests there where the sword could be.
Nor have we seen Breckenary. Not like it matters.
Poor Breck.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, if you had Erdrick's sword, you could probably win on this level. So not much grinding is even needed.
If you had the sword and the death necklace, definitely. If you just had the sword, defense power, you'd get some doubles. It's close. We don't know what's in Charlock.
DH Stom and chat saying Breckenary's on the other continent. We only have a one continent map here, Stom.
Maybe that's the joke. Also, in the new version of Randomizer that we're playing, Breckenry is no longer likely to be on the second continent. It used to be the case that it was much more likely compared to all the rest of the seeds due to a bug in the code generation. Now, Breckenry is just right up there with the rest of the towns, as likely to be one place than another. Slightly more likely to be on the first continent due to some soft-locking bugs where you need to make sure that you can get to Breckenry without cursing, or to uncurse yourself if the swamp cave happens to be behind Tanagel. From the testing I've done, 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 maps are now single continent. And when there is a second continent, maybe 10% of the time the second continent ends up small and empty. Now that Breckenry is not very likely to be there.
I don't know. I still contend that number is low. From what I've seen, I think it's close. Well, from what I've seen, it's closer to 50%. But, I'm only one person playing 10 or 15 runs. I'm sure you have explored many more than 10 or 15. A very mediocre level 15, but level 15 has hurt more.
There's a fire animation that appears whenever the players get hurt more here in the tracker. Looks awesome. Also, who needs hurt more?
Another interesting thing to point out is that now at level 15, Koper still doesn't have the spell of return. So if he should choose to go kill the Dragon Lord at level 15, he better make sure he has a set of wings on him, or else he's going to have a long walk back.
Wouldn't the Walk of Shame just be the cherry on top of this seed?
So Koper gets sent back to start by an angry armored knight, and Kaiten is making his way back toward the swamp cave again.
I seem to recall, was Charlock a little bit to the southwest of Garen?
Yeah, I thought it was the southwest of the swamp cave. It's like where Kaiten is now. It's a little bit further south and a decent way west.
Oh, the other end of the swamp cave, I see.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I think if Kaiten keeps going south and west, he will run into Charlock, I do believe. Oh, look, wolves! Wolves have sleep and hurt more. That is not something we have seen. And yet Kaiten gets wrecked.
Jkoper is still taking fights. I think that makes sense, because his agility is only 74. Even if he's strong enough to defeat the Dragon Lord, he's probably going to almost be forced into getting an incidental level during the Charlock dive. But he's about to go visit the jerk to turn in the rainbow drop items to get the drop. So now we can actually unlock Charlock Castle.
Kaiten searching the Spark Over Bridge, because why not? And then I believe just one screen to the west is Charlock. Oh, look, the Fun Police. Haven't seen much of them this seed.
The Armored Knights had really been kind of the fun police on this seed.
Yeah, really.
Well, normally when you're watching a Dragon Warrior Randomizer, when you sit down, maybe with your drink and a snack for some Dragon Warrior Randomizer entertainment, you figure you're going to get maybe 80, 90 minutes of entertainment, but no. We're here to go the extra mile. We're looking at 2 full hours of entertainment, at least, on this seat.
And we haven't even seen Charlock yet. We never know what delights could await us there.
Well, thinking through it, are there any Charlock enemies we have not already seen? Fairly certain that we've seen all of them at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right. But of course, the big thing that is still kind of in this seed that is hanging out in the wind is Erdrick's sword.
Yeah,
and we have
that's the big one.
Yeah, we have a bunch of chests that we haven't seen.
Yep, 7, 5 in the mountain cave and 2 in the grave that are still missing.
Not to mention the 6 in the Charlock Treasury and 1 in at the judge's table at the vanilla sword location.
So, 7 inside Charlock, 7 outside Charlock.
50-50 chance.
I think the sword is going to be in the Charlock Treasury. I think after all the things that have gone badly this seed, we're finally going to have one that goes good. And jkoper is walking into Charlock with 46 magic. Do you think he's just going to try a sword dive right now because he just needs to get the information?
Yeah, this is a sword dive. There's no doubt about it. This is a sword dive. And I'm, as much as I want to agree with you that the sword is going to be here in the treasury, I really think it's in the mountain cave. I think it's going to be in the mountain cave.
If it is, those 2 hours of entertainment I promised are just the beginning.
Yeah, the winning time may rival the longest winning time of the first round so far, which is 2 hours and 37 minutes.
In terms of places that Mountain Cave could be hiding, I feel like the eastern edge of the map maybe is one of the few places that we haven't thoroughly explored. I don't remember.
I honestly don't know where it could be at this point. I mean,
It's probably
maybe
over on Breckenry Island. There'll be like a one-tile island, a bridge connecting the two, and one of them has Breckenry, and the other one has Mountain Cave, just in the middle of the ocean.
I feel like it could be around here where Kaiten is right now, because I don't know if jkoper has fully explored this area down here.
Well, Kaiten has finally found coal and is gonna get the armor. So, you know, it's an hour too late, but this will at least make him probably take, I would say, 95% less deaths. He's probably died like 60 times in this seed at least, and he might, you know, if he finishes the seed, I could easily imagine him forfeiting, assuming that jkoper wins far ahead of him. Like, he might only take like 4 more deaths at most, now that he's got the armor here at level 10.
And he picks up a small shield. And here is level 16 for jkoper. What do we have? 5 power, 4 agility, no hit points, 9 magic, and the spell of return.
I'll no more fear about having to do the walk of shame at the end of this one. However, is he going to succeed in getting all the way down to the Charlock Treasury and let us all know if Erdrick's sword's going to be there? You know, it's often the case in chat that we like to play a little game where people guess which of the 6 chests might hold Erdrick's sword. So if you want to place your guess in the chat, I guess people typically do it either $25,000 pyramid style or just by saying things like bottom left or middle middle. But get your guesses in the chat quickly, because jkoper could be there in moments.
Meanwhile, Kaiten taking one of his supposed 4 more deaths in the seed. All right, here we are. Does this seed... Oh, boy. Okay. Does this seed have another troll left in it? Let us find out. Gold. Gold. Key. Torch. Torch. 1 left. Is it? Is it? Not. It is not in the treasury.
Well, jkoper is going to go back to search the one final chest that's in Charlock, that we often refer to as the judge's table. I think he will still have enough magic that he should be able to get back there. So we'll get a look at one more chest, but if not, then it's going to be the Odyssey to try to find Mountain Cave. That's assuming that it's not in the grave. I imagine he would dive the grave next if the sword isn't at the judge's table.
This seed is just absolutely something else.
What's kind of ironic and frustrating now from jkoper's side is he doesn't need more stats if he gets the sword to defeat the Dragon Lord, but with only 78 agility, he's still struggling to run from a number of these enemies in Charlock when he's just trying to get places to do some more exploring. So that's pretty frustrating. But I guess given how frustrating this whole seed has been, it's a minor inconvenience. Hey, guess what? It's vanilla. jkoper has found the sword.
Wow. Oh, game. Game,
he did a return. Wasn't there a town that was closer?
No, there really isn't.
Oh, there isn't? Okay.
No.
Alright, but if we do the math now, with an attack power of 138, he is going to hit for 9 to 19, which is an average of 14. 11 or 12 hits on the Dragon Lord would be enough to win. He has 11 heal mores, and furthermore, he has enough hit points where he's likely to get some doubles during the Dragon Lord battle. So he could probably spend 2 or possibly even 3 heal mores on the way down to the Dragon Lord and still succeed in the fight at the end. But with 78 agility, it's still possible we might get a little tripped up.
Yeah, as long as he gets down there with, 8 heal mores or so, he'll be just fine, I would think. And Kaiten hits level 11. Yay!
Which of the enemies would be the worst on the Charlock spike tile? I guess probably the Red Dragon.
Yeah, I would have to say the Red Dragon because, everything else is either the Red Dragon or the Armored Knight. Because all the Armored Knight does is bash your head in, same with the Red Dragon. A Stone Man is relatively simple because Stone Men have baby's breath. Blue Dragons don't do anything but attack. So yeah, I would have to say the Red Dragon or the Armored Knight.
And now, out of morbid curiosity, I'm going to take a look at a map for this seed just to see where the mountain cave is. So I'll be right back.
Have fun. Alright, so we have jkoper entering Charlock at about 1 hour 58 minutes for what we're assuming is his final dive down. We have Kaiten kind of exploring the map some. He is wandering over here to what we know to be Hawksness and the Jerk Cave. He's probably going to go try to take on that Stone Man in Hawksness, which yields the Fairy Flute, which will then confirm to him that he will need the search spot, and will likely need the princess in order to do that. Meanwhile, jkoper getting RNG'd by this armored knight here, who's absolutely refusing to let him run. Kaiten slowly... Go ahead.
I have news of the map.
And?
Breckenry and Mountain Cave were both further to the east of Swamp North.
Further to the east?
So basically from Swamp North, you had to walk pretty far left and down to get to Charlock.
Right.
If you went down and then right, there was a little squiggle that then goes up and brings you over to where Breckenry and Mountain Cave were.
Oh, that's fun.
So for those who need those mysteries solved, now we know.
And Koper takes care of another armored knight that stood in his path.
Alright, forced to burn a Healmore there. Still has 9 Healmores left, which should be plenty. The necklace, by the way, was in Mountain Cave.
Ah! Oh, that makes sense. So that means the bottom of the grave was junk. Except
Actually,
for maybe the fighter's
very
ring.
bottom had the fighter's ring, yes, in the bottom of the grave.
There you go. Oh, is Kaiten maybe heading over to that area? Oh, nope. Oh, maybe? No. Maybe? No.
jkoper getting run blocked by another armored knight has to burn another Healmore. Now the Dragon Lord fight is getting close to being in jeopardy. I wonder what the spike tile is going to be. If it's another armored knight that he has to fight through, well, we'll see how it goes. It's kind of a bit of a meme about how you can have, over 100 agility and still not be able to run from things in Charlock. And to some extent that's true, but the converse isn't. When your agility is really bad, you almost always pay for it. And so even with great other stats, the 78 did whittle down a couple Healmores from jkoper, turning this from kind of a sure thing into a little bit of risk. But fortunately with the golem and the spike tile and possessing the fairy flute, this guy shouldn't be doing much damage.
And Kaiten finding his stones of sunlight out of the tablet cave. Okay, now Koper needs to hold B. Hold B. Please hold B. Thank you.
Could you imagine accidentally soft locking at 2 hours into the race?
Mm. And Koper getting some decent Dragon Lord 1 RNG here, and heads into the Dragon Lord 2 battle with 121 HP. Oh, and of course he gets back attacked. But should still pull off a double here.
That was something I hadn't considered, the low agility possibly causing the back attack and potentially losing an attack.
Hope we're getting some really nice damage rolls here. I don't think the Dragon Lord has used his breath attack once. Ow.
He breathed his evil breath into the entire rest of the seed.
Yeah, good point. Another 50 hit. Geez, that's 2 this fight. Has Koper done enough damage? That's going to be the question. Seems to be rolling decently high.
It looks like he has done it. A merciful end to this difficult seed. Get your GGs in the chat for jkoper, who managed to outlast Dragon Warrior today in round 1 of the tournament.
As jkoper approaches the king will give his speech. Thou art indeed worthy of the line of Erdrick. And of course now, Galen must come to his side and wants to go with thee on the journey. And she is so happy. Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, get out your GGs. jkoper is finishing first place in the seed with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 3 seconds. Good job, jkoper. And Kaiten has forfeited from this seed. Completely, totally, and utterly understandable.
What an incredible seed. Every seed is different, and I'm glad I didn't have to play this one in this race.
Yeah, that was a thing. That was a seed. And with that ding, we have been joined by Kaiten. Kaiten, my friend, this seed just didn't like you at all. It really didn't.
It was like, what the heck just happened?
I think even more specifically, I think it was Armored Knights that had a particular hatred of your particular brand of cologne tonight.
Yeah, I was like, where is everything? And I saw the coordinates as well. I was like, oh no, I need a princess right now.
Yeah, you definitely needed the princess for those coordinates. It wound up being... So, I don't know if you had figured this out at all, but this was actually one continent. The town of Garen was actually a decent ways north of Swamp North. So the search style wound up being in between the two ends of the Swamp Cave, a little closer to Garen was actually a decent ways north of Swamp North.
Because
and
so
the search style wound
when
up...
I found out that it was like one continent, I was like, oh no, this is the race I'm going to lose for sure because I am not prepared for this.
And we are joined by jkoper in chat. jkoper, Nicely done. Way to battle through that wonderful seed.
Thanks. I thought it was interesting.
Interesting is a name for it. It's a word. That the low strength and no hurt more really kind of slowed both of you guys down for a while there.
Mm-hmm. It sure did. Yeah, I I looked at the beginning for a town because we had all that gold, and that was 100% the correct play, considering what happened there. Like there wasn't. It was kind of difficult to get enemies to kill at the start, and then there was no good levels coming anywhere. So yeah, the first town was a very large distance away. There's no way we could have made it there without like getting absurdly lucky or pulling off some manipulations or something. So yeah, what we were left with was kind of what happened there. Luckily Herd at level 3 was nice though. And heal of course too.
Yeah, that heal hurt combo really kind of allowed you to really kind of get rid of some of those mid-tier monsters that were around Tantagil and a little bit to the, because I saw you had a good grind spot there to the east of the castle in that desert. Really allowed you to kind of get going, which was great, but the levels right after level 3 didn't really give you a whole heck of a lot.
No, not really. So there was an interesting thing that happened in the end game of this seed, and I'm wondering if you guys caught on to it at all, and what you had thought that I might do. So, do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it the fact that you were still missing 7 chests outside in the overworld, as well as the 7 chests in Charlock?
Well, yeah. Mostly the chests in the mountain cave, because I never found the mountain cave. I'm sure that
neither one of you did. Neither one of you found the mountain cave. Neither one of you found Breckenridge.
Yeah, they must be by themselves somewhere. I don't know. That concerns me a little bit. Maybe I should load this up and make sure I can get there or something.
I did take a look at it in a map editor, and Breckenridge and the mountain cave were both a little bit to the east of Swamp North. You'd have to go down and then right from Swamp North.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure if we had explored that area fully. So what I was going to do, obviously the death necklace would have helped. But what I was planning on doing, if I didn't find the chest or the sword in its vanilla chest like I did, I was going to try to take a death warp to get back to the castle, which would have probably been really difficult to do. I'm not sure if there's a good way to do that. Oh, maybe I had a scale in it. I might have had a scale, I'm not sure. A scale would have helped, but I don't know if there would have been a good way to take a death warp. I guess I could have died to the Dragon Lord or something. But anyway, so then I would have gone down to the bottom of the grave, or not, yeah, the bottom of the grave, and just check to see if the sword was in those last couple of chests, and if not, there almost certainly could have been gold in one of those 2 chests. So that would have been a way to get a gold grind, and then I might have picked up a flame sword. And this is all kind of judging based on my strength, but I think a flame sword might have been enough to beat the game at that point, especially like a flame sword and a death necklace. I think that together might have been good. But thankfully I found the sword, so I didn't have to worry about all those hypotheticals.
Indeed. It turns out that the fighter's ring would have been in the bottom of the grave, and the death necklace was over in the mountain cave, I think we decided.
It would have to be then.
What was under Tantagil then? Because I went there earlier, I couldn't... I knew it. I should have Death Warp earlier.
Yeah, but there wasn't anything good in there anyway, so it wasn't very helpful.
This was one of those seeds where it was just like everything you could do to make it worse and then worse. It's like the first thing you find, oh, it's a cave, it's the jerk. Oh, there's a town, it's Hawksness. Oh, you get keys. There's nothing useful that you can do with keys. The seed just kept on swinging.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It was curious thing about this seed, I guess, is that you didn't have to enter the mountain cave or the grave at all. I mean, it would be hard to know that, but everything you needed was kind of in one little compact area, even though, we had some difficulty finding things on the map. You could have gotten away with just doing those little couple of loops from the castle and getting the armor. Well, I guess the armor was kind of tucked away down in the southeast corner, but everything else was pretty straightforward in a way. I mean, yeah, like I said, I never found that last town and cave, and I wasn't even gonna try. But beyond that, it seems like it turned out okay. But thank you so much, guys, for the commentary, restream, tracking, everything like that.
Absolutely, we're happy to do it.
Yeah. I don't think a 207 is gonna win too often. I don't know how much of it was what I could have done better, and how much of it was just the seed being a little belligerent. But
yeah, belligerent's a good word for it. No, we think that as the race progressed, we were thinking, all right, this is a 2-hour seed, regardless of who plays it. So, we really think that you pretty well played it as best you could have. The seed was just, it didn't want to be finished rather quickly at all.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks so much, guys.
All right. So, with that, I think we're going to get going with the closing process. Real quick, what do we have going on tomorrow? It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like we have 7 different races tomorrow. And we're going to start you off bright and early at 12:15 Eastern time. So in roughly 11 hours, we're going to have Bobski 021 versus the Amused Miniature. Then we're going to warp ahead a little bit to 6 p.m. Eastern time, where we have Brysolf versus the Hangry Canuck. An hour later at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we have High Spirits versus Cyberdark 86. Then at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we have Ikban Maya versus Jackamus Wedge. At 9 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow on RPG Limit Break, we're going to have Tilo Tilo versus Ness Cardinality. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern time, we have actually 2 races going on. We have Centroid 41 versus Fury SK, and Ferran Burgundy versus BASP 33. We're very much looking forward to all of those races, and we look forward to seeing you guys around in the various RPG Limit Break and Randomania family of networks for those races. Lorgon, anything to add before we sign off for the night?
I am ready to go to bed.
I can imagine. You've had quite the day of commentating, my friend. So, just want to give out one last shout out here to Lord of the Synth. Thank you very much for the restream. Centroid 41, thank you very much for popping in and tracking us for us at the last minute. For my commentary partner, Lorgon 111, I am Z-Man 050778. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night.